And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. Today is Wednesday, June 4th. I am your host, Josh Engel, and today we have Christopher Martin, Director of Your Haven Recovery, and Alisha Beck. She's the Program Director with the Recovery Spot of West Georgia. She hasn't been on the program before. Chris has. Of course, to celebrate her first time on the program, we are live streaming this morning's program of the Community Voice on our WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments for our guests, we'd love it if you throw them in the chat. Questions, comments, kudos, whatever you got. Feel free to throw those in the chat, and we'd be happy to read those out to our guests. Today we're going to be talking about the West Georgia Recovery Rally, the result of a partnership now between Your Haven Recovery and the Recovery Spot of West Georgia. It's going to be this Saturday, the 7th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Pauldings Parks and Recreation Building in Dallas, Georgia. What a beautiful city, Dallas. And, of course, we're going to have lots of information about this. Join them as they celebrate people in recovery and long-term recovery here in West Georgia. Come meet their strong recovery allies and resilient recovery champions. There's going to be a lot of guest speakers. There's going to be some food vendors on site. A lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you both for coming on the program. So why don't we jump right into it? Chris, you're a veteran on the show. You've been here before. So why don't we start with you? Tell us a bit about yourself, and while you're at it, a bit about Your Haven Recovery.
My name is Christopher Martin. I'm the director of Your Haven Recovery. My story begins at a very young age, growing up in a life, seeing a lot of stuff, and battled addiction, pretty seriously throughout my life. And came to the point to where I just, asking myself, what am I doing? What am I going to leave behind for my kids? What are they going to think one day? And I was not happy with that answer at all. So, I set forth to make a change. I found Your Haven. I volunteered everywhere I could, stuck my hand up as soon as I could. I was the first guy, And to about 6 months of volunteering, I, took a leap of faith and took a week off of work at my construction job and went and did the CARES certification. And the CARES training is life-changing.
Wow.
It's life-changing. And about a month after that, I applied for the director's position at Your Haven, and God took it from there. It's just been wide open, man. Your Haven is a wonderful place. I fell in love with it immediately. They taught me how to live life again, and that's what we do. One of the many things we do for these individuals. When you get sober, you're alone, and you're scared to death of the world that you used to be in, and you don't really feel like you belong in in the community, in the other world. So you're just kind of at a loss, and Your Haven bridges that gap. We're a safe place to come to when you don't have anywhere else to go, or for nothing. We support people. We meet them where they are. We do peer support. We facilitate meetings, AA, NA, Crystal Meth Anonymous, All Recovery. We do sober events. Anything we can do to, help you reintegrate back into the community and regain your life. We, teach life skills, job placement, just anything we can do.
Anything to help rebuild that life.
Yes.
Now, as far as where is your facility? Do you guys have a facility,
yes,
like a
yes.
treatment facility?
We're at 30 Buchanan Bypass in Buchanan. You turn right across from the Bull, and we're right down on the left.
Right on. Okay. All right. Check it. So, if you haven't tuned into a previous program before, definitely check out a previous episode with Chris. We've talked about Your Haven Recovery in the past, and Christopher has an amazing story, and the organization has an amazing story, and it's cool to see lives being changed right there. And often it just takes that community. What is it the Buddhists call it? The Sangha. You got to have that Sangha, that community that looks out for you, supports you. And for folks that may be tuning in that might feel in some way, for whatever reason, drives me crazy. People will hear stories about addiction, and people will think that is something separate from them. They're like, oh, that's something other people deal with. Well, maybe people should ask how often they're on that phone. Well, or what about food? I know I'm addicted to food. I'm addicted to a lot of stuff.
That's what I explain to people that say they've never had an addiction. And I'll say, well, think of putting your phone on the table right there, at arm's reach.
Couldn't do it.
And not picking it up.
Most people could not do it. So I think that it's important to reflect on that before we continue the conversation. This is something that people do not choose. This is something that biology, this is something that upbringing, situation, trauma, there are a lot of factors that go into this happening. And God bless your Haven for out here saving lives and helping folks. Speaking of saving lives and helping folks, we're going to throw it over to Alisha Beck. Alisha is the program director of Recovery Spot of West Georgia, also doing incredible work right here in West Georgia. They are they're in the process of they're getting it going. They're helping set up a recovery community organization in Calhoun, Cleburne County as well.
Yeah, that's my husband and myself. It's different than the
Cool.
Recovery Spot. But.
All right, well, lay it on us. So tell us a bit about you and your husband. Tell us about Recovery Spot, a bit about your relation to that organization, about their mission, how they do, and of course, then we can get into the expansion you guys are looking to do.
Absolutely. So my name is Alisha Beck. I'm also a person in long-term recovery. Spent 16 years in my struggle. It took an act of God to pull me out of that because there's no way I could do it on my own. And then I got connected with recovery communities like Your Haven. Actually was employed there for about 2.5 years. I was their assistant director. And then the opportunity opened to come to the Recovery Spot. Carroll County needed a little bit of recovery, and I was willing to come and kind of help kick that off.
So you started with Your Haven.
I did.
That's so cool.
Yes.
No wonder you guys know each other so well. Cool. All right.
Yeah, so I started there, and then I moved over to the Recovery Spot in March. And ever since then, it's just really starting to kick up. Awesome. I mean, we've got peers in and out the door for peer support services right now, looking to expand into some more programs, more events, more things to get people connected and help them stay on the straight path.
Absolutely.
So super exciting there. We also have events that we'll be coming up to. Right now we're going to be doing those quarterly until we can get somebody else hired to help me out, because right now it's me.
Okay. So that's a great thing to set up too, is that folks don't realize that these organizations do an immense amount of work, but as with most nonprofits, you got a skeleton crew. You got like one or two people. So now did you take over when Recovery Spot was founded, or had it been around a bit before?
It had been around a bit before, and now they're going through a big change. We got a new executive director, because we're actually underneath the Carroll County Mental Health Advocates.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a really awesome team when it comes to that. Got Lisa Merrill and Brandy McGork. They're both awesome peer support specialists, and they jump in and help at any chance that they can. So it's really excited to see kind of how things are kicking off as far as like with the court system and everything. I can't wait to get that safe place open so that we can really start kicking off and showing Carroll County that recovery is real.
What's up? And it is real. I mean, my God.
So real.
I think if folks watch more than 3 or 4 episodes of this show, they will see that change is real. And I mean, we're talking about people having intervention, whether they consider that a divine intervention or whether they consider that divine intervention in the sense of family, friends, and of course individual strengths to help them overcome something like addiction. I mean, change is real. I mean,
Yes.
it's magic. I mean, we see people really, really change their lives around, and not only that, but they usually parlay that trauma and that stress, the things they've gone through, into something incredible. So, as far as as far as Recovery Spot, can you kind of give us an idea? I know it's very, it feels like it's cousins with Your Haven, but as far as like the mission, how do you go about serving individuals? Let's say that someone right now tuning in has a bad struggle, like they're struggling with pills. You know what I mean? They had a back injury, they got the pill addiction, and it's driving them crazy. It's messing up their life, their work, their family. They come to you. What can they expect?
I'm immediately going to shower them with love. I'm going to let them know that it's okay. We all struggle. Like y'all were talking about, even with the phones. So I'm just going to make sure that they know that they're loved, make sure that they know that there's options, and show them that they're in control of their recovery. It's not about me telling them how to get things done in recovery. It's about them digging deep and figuring out what exactly it's going to take for them to find their recovery. Everybody's different. So it's basically just letting them know that they're in control and giving them those resources that they can choose from.
And just to remind them that they're not alone.
Exactly. That's the most important part.
That is seriously overwhelming. I mean, to know that to be showered with love and to know, hey, you know what, it's all right. You're not doing this because you're happy.
Exactly.
This is often a symptom of pain. And let's give a shout out. We have our first comments on the live stream. Shout out to Bridget Stewart. Bridget, thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream. Bridget says, thank you for all you do for our community. Much needed. I think that's 5 exclamation points. So that's serious.
That is
Thank
serious.
you for that. And Recovery Spot is a blessing for our community. So shout out to Bridget. Thank you so much for coming on the live stream and typing that out. And if anyone else has any questions or comments, please do. We're going to go ahead and knock out our first commercial break because time flies when you're having a good time. But when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with the director of Your Haven Recovery, Christopher Martin, and the program director for the Recovery Spot of West Georgia, Alisha Beck, as we talk more about the West Georgia Recovery Rally coming up this Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Paulding Parks and Recreation Building. That's 210 Paulding Lane, Dallas, in Dallas, Georgia. This is going to be an awesome event. We're going to talk all about it in detail here in a bit. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsors that have helped make this happen. There are, of course, we're going to give them love later in the show as well, but the gold sponsors, Your Haven Recovery, as well as Willowbrook, and the silver level sponsors, the Blake House, the Recovery Spot, Trapped in the Attic. What a great name.
Yes.
I've never heard of that. That's so funny. Trapped in the Attic. Great name. The Arena and New Avenue Recovery. So shout out to those organizations that are sponsoring this event. So yeah, we're going to go and take that first break, and we'll be back after we hear from Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy. Stay with us.
The customized academic scholar journey at Oak Mountain Academy is individually designed to provide students with a personalized, clearly defined academic track that earns the student a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically driven students to pursue a focused, rigorous course of study personalized to their wants and desires. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
And welcome back to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today is Wednesday, June 4th. I have to keep checking the date because I never know what day it is. We are very, very pleased to have Christopher Martin in the studio with us. He's the director of Your Haven Recovery. And joining him, we have Alisha Beck. This is her first time on the Community Voice. She's the program director for Recovery Spot of West Georgia. If you're just tuning in, be sure to check out and share both the podcast of this episode or the live stream currently going down. The live stream video on our WLBB Facebook page. Help support Your Haven. Help support Recovery Spot of West Georgia. Share this live stream. Let everybody know not only that help is right here in your own community. Should you have people in your life that are struggling with addiction, and we all are in our own way or another, but also to spread the word about the event so that folks can come out and support this the West Georgia Recovery Rally. It's the first time that this has happened, right? This
Yes.
isn't like a second annual or anything. But this is going down this Saturday, the West Georgia Recovery Rally, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., and that is at the Paulding Parks and Recreation Building. That's 210 Paulding Lane in Dallas, Georgia. Join the organizations as they celebrate people in recovery and long-term recovery right here in West Georgia. Come meet their strong recovery allies and resilient recovery champions. There's going to be inspiring speakers, community leaders, 18 counties represented, and a lot more, but why don't we let the pros talk about that? So we're going to open it up to Christopher and Alisha. Let's talk about how this happened. I mean, this is cool. Rising tides raise all ships. You guys are partnering together on this event. Who come up with it? How did this happen?
Yeah, this you want to go ahead?
Sure. Actually, the Georgia Council for Recovery actually reached out to everybody. This is something that they've been doing in the different regions, but it just hasn't been done in West Georgia yet.
Cool.
So Jeff Breedlove from Georgia Council for Recovery reached out to everybody, decided that Paulding County was the best seat for this, so we started out there, and we just went gung-ho on planning and getting everything together.
Awesome. All right.
Super
Cool.
exciting to see, just how far West Georgia's come in the recovery community.
So this is something that has been done in other communities, and it was a success. And someone once told me, I've said it on the show before, a city manager from a city, not Carrollton, but a surrounding city, many years ago, told me that when it comes to nonprofit work, an important lesson is R&D. And I said, oh, research and development. And he goes, no, rip off and duplicate. If it works, spread the word. Take that system and carry it over to your region, and you can help lives. You can really change lives. So they reached out to your respective organizations, and you guys got in touch and decided that you guys were going to do this together.
Yes.
Awesome. So Chris, has your Haven worked on an event like this before with another organization like Recovery Spot?
Not since I've been there. We had a recovery rally last year. Or Your Haven had one in Tallapoosa. So I had a little bit of experience of planning, a rally, but it's like a collaboration of this size is a first for me. It's in the organization. I'm really excited about this event. It's an advocacy event. It's if you support recovery, if you're in recovery, if you're curious about recovery, this event's for you. It's we break stigma by showing up and making a big showing and showing everybody that West Georgia does recover. And not only to show up to make the showing, but to see all the support that you have.
Wow.
All the love and support. I mean, we have
love. She was talking earlier about showering people with love.
Yes.
What that does to the soul.
And people don't realize. I mean, there are all levels of law enforcement. There's community leaders. There's CSBs, mental health advocates. There's so many people. There's the corrections, the supervisions. Accountability courts are coming.
Wow.
Just all the support that we have that a lot of people don't even know we have. We're fighting stigma every day, and this is how we do it.
It's a great way to connect people with resources.
Yes.
I mean, we just in the last break said, hey, if you feel alone and you feel like you're struggling and you're suffering with addiction, guess what? I mean, you can fall into the everlasting arms right here, man. Right.
Connection is the opposite of addiction.
That's true.
I love that. Connection is the
So true.
opposite of addiction. That's very cool. Awesome. Alicia, so tell us what folks can expect. So let's say the same hypothetical person we talked about earlier, someone that might have a opioid addiction, might have a pill addiction, from something, not from wanting to party even, maybe they just had a back injury, maybe they got into a boat wreck or something. I mean, this happens every day. Everybody knows somebody that this exact thing has happened to, where they get an injury and they start having to take prescription medicine, and one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, they're dependent. So if folks are struggling, what can they expect at this event? So we talked a bit about some of the folks that will be there representing, but what's going to be going down? Are there going to be speakers? What are they going to be talking about? Will there be food on site? That kind of stuff.
So there will be food on site. There's going to be some barbecue. There'll be a vegetarian option. And then I believe there's going to be a drink vendor there as well for some of those nutritional drinks.
Yeah, Luna East Sol Cantina and Dirty South Sips.
Yeah.
And Finest Shine Barbecue Catering Event. So these are the three food vendors. Dirty South Sips, is that the like the drink vendor, like they make
Yes.
like sodas and stuff?
Yes.
Yes. But I think someone that's struggling can expect to see that there are other people out there that have overcome what they're going through currently. There's going to be tables, vendors and informational tables out there. Trapped in the Attic, they have transitional homes called the Titan House. They just opened one up out in Tallapoosa recently for women, and they have some in Oxford for men. So there's going to be different options. The New Avenue Recovery, they're actually a sober living for men located out in Griffin. We do a lot of work with those people. They're amazing, and I know that they're willing to help any way that they can. The Blake House as well, that's another rehabilitation service that's located in our community that will be there. So there'll be a lot of options for people to kind of just see like that, they're not alone, that there's people out there that want to help. Not only that, but we actually are partnering with, I believe, 8 or 9 other RCOs.
Wow.
So there's Living Proof Recovery, Mosaic Place, Paulding RCO is actually the host of this. The Arena,
Phoenix
RCO.
And just a quick reminder
Never
for
Alone.
listeners, RCO is Recovery Community Organization. I had to ask that earlier.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. So that's Recovery Community Organization.
Also, the Never Alone Clubhouse out in Douglasville is going to be there as well. They're making a huge impact. And I hope I didn't miss anybody.
Unified in Recovery. Hey, Shelley.
Yeah, hey, Shelley.
Well, I think but I think this says a lot about the organization that, I mean, you're having trouble even remembering all the partners. That's a good sign.
I mean, that's
a sign of, what is it? Connection's the opposite of addiction.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And that's exactly what recovery is. It's all of us coming together during good times, bad times. It doesn't matter when. We're all going to come together.
Sure.
We're all going to celebrate recovery. Yes. So it's really exciting. I know we got Sheriff Stacy from Haralson County going to be in the lineup for speaking, as well as Mayor Kaysen.
Stacy Williams.
Yes, he's awesome. We love
He
him.
is.
As well as Mayor Kaysen, she'll be there as well. And they'll be just speaking about recovery. I think Sheriff Stacy's going to be talking a little bit about Narcan, which is so important. We're going to have live Narcan training on site as well through the Georgia Overdose Prevention. Which Christopher and I are both vendors for that, so we can actually teach you how to administer Narcan, and we can get you Narcan if you need it.
Wow, that's amazing. And so as far as speakers, you're talking about, Mayor Kaysen, Mayor Betty Kaysen. She's tight with the mental health advocates, and Stacy Williams. No, are there any other guest speakers specifically you wanted to mention, or is this some of it's going to be, you got to show up to find out? It's a surprise.
I know the drug task force. One of the drug task force is going to be there as well.
Oh yeah, I got the. What am I saying?
Yeah,
I'm
you got
asking
the
you.
lineup.
I stole all their cheat sheets.
Yeah, we need the cheat sheet.
Yeah,
So Bartow County is actually going to have their drug task force there. We got some Faith in Recovery coming, Seth Harris, to just educate a little bit. We've got some recovery stories. We got an empowering family story coming from a mother of one of the RCO directors. That's going to be powerful. We also are going to have some people from the Department of Public Health speaking. Josh McKinley. We're going to have live music, too. I don't think we mentioned that.
No,
one of the best parts. Yeah,
Yes.
Black Line Reggae, man. They're going to be there doing their thing.
Yeah, I had read that on the thing, and I was like not going to say anything until just before we went to break. So it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Live music on top of everything else. I mean, I'd come out just to hear Stacey Williams talk. Yeah. That in and of itself is a great. I mean, the guy has the best stories, and he really cares about the community.
Yes.
The man really, really goes hard to try to protect the community.
Yes.
But on top of everything else, on top of the food by Finest Shine Barbecue, Dirty South Sips, and Luna East Soul Cantina, on top of all the resources and RCOs represented, on top of all the assistance that you can find here, you have some awesome live music by Eric Jennings and the Black Lion Reggae. And look, man, if you don't like reggae, I don't know what to do for you.
Yeah.
We need to go ahead and knock out our last commercial break, but before we do, shout out to Beth Kimbrell. Beth Kimbrell has thrown a comment here on the live stream on our WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page. She says, "This is beautiful." Oh, I got a new one in right as I said that. "This is beautiful. I am in recovery and live in Carrollton. Just got out of rehab a few weeks ago. So glad to know there is so much support in this area."
Come call me, girl.
Yo, call her. She's so sweet. And Diane Daniel, shout out to Diane. Thank you so much for leaving a comment. She says, "Leave shame and embarrassment at the door. No one enters these doors on a winning streak. Recovery is real." I feel like I'm going to cry. That's tough.
Shout out to my baby doll there.
Hey, shout out to Diane Daniel. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm getting teared up. That's beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and take our last commercial break. And when we come back, we will wrap up our conversation with Christopher Martin and Alisha Beck as we chat more about the West Georgia Recovery Rally this Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Paulding Parks and Rec building on 210 Paulding Lane in Dallas, Georgia. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
The World Language Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined, curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in biliteracy fields of study. The successful completion of this journey provides colleges with a method to recognize a rigorous foreign language immersion experience for all students at Oak Mountain Academy. I'm Patrick Duran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today is Wednesday, May 4th, and we're very pleased to have had Christopher Martin, the director of Your Haven Recovery, in the studio with us, as well as Alisha Beck. She's the program director of Recovery Spot of West Georgia. We've had an awesome conversation and, of course, awesome comments. Thank you to everyone that has come on the live stream and left some details there. Again, I wanted to be sure we plugged the West Georgia Recovery Rally. That is this Saturday the 7th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Paulding Parks and Recreation Building on Paulding Lane in Dallas, Georgia. You have an opportunity to hear from amazing speakers like Sheriff Stacey Williams, Betty Kaysen. You have representatives from over 18 different recovery community organizations there. If you are alone, don't feel alone, because you got people right here that'll look out for you. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsors that help make this happen, the gold sponsors, Your Haven Recovery and Willowbrook. Shout out to Tanner Health. And the silver sponsors, the Blake House, the Recovery Spot, Trapped in the Attic, which takes the cake. Sorry, guys, that's the best name ever, Trapped in the Attic. The Arena, and, of course, New Avenue Recovery. And that's just the sponsors. There are tons of, it would take too long to actually list everybody that's helped make this happen. And of course, the food vendors, Fine and Shine Barbecue, Dirty South Sips, Luna Isol Cantina. This is a great opportunity. If you or your family is struggling with addiction, don't be afraid. You can come out here and find some love. If you could, any final thoughts for our guest before we run out of time here?
Don't do this alone. Reach out. We're all willing to help. We're stronger together. So don't do it alone.
Awesome. And where can folks learn more about the Recovery Spot of West Georgia?
We have a Facebook page, the Recovery Spot of West Georgia. We also have a website. That website's therecoveryspot.org.
Excellent. And folks can follow any of those to get more information about
absolutely.
This event.
And just drop by the office at 118 South White Street here in Carrollton.
Thank you for saying the address. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And if we could, Chris, where can folks learn more about Your Haven Recovery?
Yes, we also have a Facebook page. We have a website. It's yourhavenrecovery.com. We're located at 30 Buck Cannon Bypass. We're, always glad to see new faces. Always glad to see anybody. We have a food pantry and a peer room. You can come in, just grab you something to eat. We'll talk about it. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Those things will make you make some horrible decisions. So we're there for you.
Awesome. Guys, thank y'all so much. Christopher, Alisha, I appreciate you both. And to everyone who tuned in with us, don't forget the West Georgia Recovery Rally this Saturday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Paulding Parks and Rec building in Dallas. Again, thank y'all. And thank you to everyone who tuned in and who commented on the program this morning. We'll see you next time.